Hey guys, this video I'm gonna be replacing the battery on the 2016 Ford Edge Sport. This is an interstate battery that was installed about 2 years ago by my local Grease Monkey is the name of the kind of the quick lube or oil change place by my house. Couple things I noticed though, and this happened a while back, but just for reference, you see all the shit around here that kind of, you could tell it's been spilling, it's been leaking. You could see right there, all that is battery acid that leaked out of the battery. I didn't notice this until probably a year after this battery was installed, and this is my wife's vehicle, so I don't pay a lot of attention to it like I probably should. But either way, here's what happened. They put this battery in. If you look down here, you see this little clamp. This is what holds the battery in place so it doesn't move. And as you can see, I'll wiggle it back and forth. The battery is just loose in there. This particular vehicle, again, 2016 Ford Edge Sport, I have, or it looks like it'll fit a couple different size batteries. This I think is the T5, and you can see this threaded hole here. That's where this nut should be so that it holds the battery tight. I know it looks like the bolt being here, this little piece here might be too tight, but you can push this back a little bit, and then you could see you have enough room. If you move this bolt here, that'll hold that in place. So these dudes at the shop, you know, obviously they didn't do the right thing, but my fault, shame on me for not checking. Yeah, so that looks like this will go here, hold the battery tight, so that's a T5 size. Now, being that there is another threaded hole right where it's at, I think this will fit a bigger battery. So like a H6, I want to go with the AGM, so I don't have this issue with the leaking anymore. Go with a sealed battery. But then also, if you look, if I move this little wire, you see that threaded hole there? At least I hope that's a threaded hole. I think you can move this bolt even further back, so it'll fit 2 or 3 different size batteries, from what I can tell. So we're gonna go to the parts store based on measurements. I think the H6 is just a couple inches longer this way, but the width should be the same from here to here. So I'm gonna go get me a yellow top Optima battery, which is what I have in my Infinity. Don't have any issues with that. Haven't had any issues for about 4 years with that battery. We have pretty brutal winters here, so that's always done good for me. So that's what we're gonna do. All right guys, I'm back. My battery was low on my cell phone, of course, and so I didn't have a light, so I couldn't show you guys what was going on, but I got a little impatient. I couldn't wait to charge my phone, so I went ahead and got started. Got the air box out of the way. You could see this is the bottom of the air box, this guy right here, and this piece right here. These two we got going on down here is the one goes in straight in there, and the other one just kind of slides into here. It's this guy right here, just slides in the slot. This one goes straight down the hole in the middle, and this whole box is just upside down. You can see that's the air box, and then you got these two up at the top right here. That's the inlet, sits right up here. 1, 2. I'll show you guys when I put it back together. And again, I apologize, but I got too impatient. I couldn't wait to charge my phone. But so that just sits, those two sit up here. So it sucks the air from up in this area, and then the actual filter sits around here. And again, it felt like there was a bolt holding it, but when I was wiggling it, I could tell there wasn't really anything holding it. And I thought this had something to do with it, but it doesn't. I have no idea what that really is for. But really, you want to pull this way on the airbox a little to get it out, to get that little piece out from here. And then on that one, it's just wedged in there, so you just pull straight up. It'll pop. It sounded like I broke something, but it was just probably had never been removed. So anyway, here's all the room we got. But what I wanted to show you guys is this is where I found the clamp. As I showed you guys before, that's what holds the battery in place so it doesn't move. And I've already loosened up this bolt here. And the bolt for that is a 5/16. So anyway, I took that out, and you could see once you remove that, this little channel here, see how there's one right up here as well? That's for the back of the, see that little lip on the back? That actually slides in there. So as you can see, I could slide this right over. It sits right in place, and the hole lines up, and that's exactly where it should have been. That's where it should have been to hold the battery in place. Now, seeing as how I found it back here, right there, that looks like it's a proper spot for it, for a bigger battery. And I found out, little research found out, like the Lincoln MKZ or MKX, whatever the Lincoln version is, a lot more electronics, believe it or not, than this one, than the Ford Edge Sport. So it does have the bigger battery, the H6. So it's either going to be there, or as I showed you guys before, there's a third spot that you can slide this back even further, and it fits perfectly. And I've already put the bolt in there, so it actually fits. So if it doesn't fit on that one, it'll definitely fit on this one. And I don't think it's that much bigger, so I'm going to say it's going to be this one for the H6 size battery. So anyway, just wanted to show you guys that. And what else did we do here? These two, obviously, you got to loosen up so you can pull your air box out. But that, pretty simple. That about did it. These two little bolts at the top were a 932. I don't know if I can focus that or not, but 932 is the size of these tiny little bolts at the top. And then, oh, the negative wire, this one here. This guy sits right in there like that. This negative wire was the bolt holding that, 7/16. And this is what that bolt looks like right here. So it's kind of it's threaded on both ends there. So it goes in just like this with the nut on the outside, of course, so you can get to it. So yeah, that's where we're at so far. I'm gonna use a wrench, and I don't have anybody helping me here, and I don't have a good rig to have my phone held in place while I do this. You can see that bolt way back there that I'm pointing at right there. That nut is what I have to loosen up to get the negative off, and then of course this right here to loosen up the positive. And so because I don't have a good way of doing this, I'm gonna pause the video here, remove the terminals, and I'll be back once I have the new battery. All right, guys, we're back. Here's the new battery. It is at least 2 inches longer than the one I took out of here, the original one. But like I said, I think with those extra bolt holes right there, we're gonna make it work, because it's the same width from here to here. The only thing that changed was the length this way. So anyway, just for reference, DH6, and you can see cranking amps, cold cranking amps. I think the original is only like requires like 720, maybe 740. So this is 800 and 928. The original cold cranking cranking amps, I think, were only 800 something. So anyway, bigger, better battery. Now the dude at the parts store right away, you know, nah, this doesn't fit. This is not the one for your vehicle. So just never mind that, sir. I need a H6, please. And that was it. You don't have to argue with them at the parts store, because all they go off of is what is in their computer. And that is the OEM, so no disrespecting them for that, but I already know that this will fit. And if not, I'm about to make it fit, but we shouldn't have that issue. The positive and the negative are in the proper location. It's going to slide in here. Positive is going to be on this side, negative in the back. Positive in front, negative in the back. So I did check that just to make sure they weren't flipped around or anything. So that's going to work. About to slide it in there. It is real heavy, and I don't have an assistant to hold my camera for me, but I wanted to give you guys a shot of it before I put it in there. These are just little protective caps that just come off. This is trash. Negative one as well. That just pops out. And we'll be reconnecting everything here. All right, guys, we're back. So as you can see, I've got the negative all in there. Again, I put the negative in while I had the battery out quite a bit, just so I wouldn't have to struggle getting down there. You'll be able to do the same. I've seen a video where a guy removes all of this, and that just seems like overkill, man. Get the air box out, 2 bolts, and then you can just slide it out, no problem. So anyway, got the negative side in, and one thing I just noticed, I guess earlier I didn't have the battery pushed all the way in, but now it is, and I guess I'm not gonna be on this last one. It is gonna be the second hole right here, which is what I originally thought it was gonna be, just based off the measurements that I took. So again, I will slide the bracket in place here so you could see this guy. Again, this little channel right there, the back end of this, that little lip, see how that curves down right here on this back side? That slides into that groove like that. And look at that, it's a perfect fit. So don't let anybody tell you that all you can fit is a T5 size battery on your Ford Edge. Again, 2016 Ford Edge Sport. I know I've probably said that a few times, but I always get yelled at in the videos when you're not clear on stuff like that. So anyway, I'm gonna thread that back in, and that's gonna be tight as a glove. 5/16 this is what I'm using here. Able to hold it, but now that I've shoved it into place properly, it actually, this lip up here fits right over this deal on the battery, so it actually hooks into it perfectly, and I can't even wiggle it now. Trying really hard, so that's a major improvement from what we had. And this is the bigger battery. That's what I would do. And again, I don't know what size battery larger than an H6. I don't know what the next size up would be, but it'll definitely take a battery even bigger than this, as long as it's the same width this way. If you got another inch and a half coming this way, look at that. You could easily fit an even bigger battery. And I've seen a lot of stuff online, people having issues with their batteries on the Ford Edges. I don't know if anything prior to 2015 or 16, but I've seen a lot of people, multiple videos where people have replaced their battery almost every 2 years. I don't know why Ford went with the smaller battery. I mean, if you could fit, why not go with the bigger one? I don't know how much more electronics the Lincoln would have versus the Ford Edge Sport, but yeah, I mean, if you're having that problem going through batteries like crazy, I would definitely go with the bigger size. And I didn't look into it, but I'll try to figure out what the maximum size battery is that'll fit on here, because like I said, you could go even bigger still, but this should be enough for me. Optima yellow top is what I've had in my Infinity. The Infinity has a sound system that is brutal on batteries, and so, but ever since I dropped the yellow top in there, no issues. So anyway, we're just gonna put the positive back on now. Got the negative that needs to go back over here. Sorry, I'm trying to. And then, again, this is the boat. There's a little washer on the back side of that. This guy goes right in here. And now this one should be the correct size. Yeah, so 7/16 worked on this one as well, even though, like I said, I don't think that's the right size, but that's all I got. I think it's like a 10mm actually. All right. Torque down the spec, and that should be it, man. Oh, one thing I wanted to show too, these are trash, but when I got this filter off, look at this thing, look at that beauty. So I'm gonna clean this up. Oof, look at that. That would explain the rough idle. I'm gonna take, I think I've got my, yeah, I've got a recharge kit right here. I'm gonna use that, spray it down. So it's a good thing my wife left the car here. I dropped her off at work because we gotta let that thing dry. But I'm gonna spray that, rinse it, let it dry, oil it back up, and slap that back in. Let me see if I can't get the air box somewhat back into position, just to kind of give you an idea how it goes. This is how it'll sit in there. Lift these up out of the way. Again, these two line up with the two threaded holes right there. That pretty much just dropped into place pretty good. Oh yeah, one thing is you do have a sensor right there. I think that's your mass airflow. I might be wrong, but either way, that little sensor right there that's on the lid of your air box, this little wire, you see I have it off to the side here, this little guy, this is the wire that clips onto there, so you'll just have to remove this wire. All right guys, got the filter all cleaned up, oiled up. See that? Just used the kit that I showed you earlier, and she's ready to go back in. Oiled it, wait about 20 minutes, pop it back in, Try to see if I could show. It doesn't really show, but as long as you could look through it and see light through it, it's usually a good sign that it's clean enough. So this guy slides in there like that, drops into place. That's where that guy's going. And only thing left to do now, this is the wire for the sensor on the cap. So it plugs in right here. Probably should have rinsed this. Maybe I will. I don't know. Maybe another day. Shake it off. This one just drops into place. These hoses back in where they need to go. Just like that. Make sure this one's in. Yep. So just like that. We'll tighten it up some more. Sensor out of the way. Let me get these a little tighter on here. Okay. That one's in. No, this one's not in yet. Okay. Got everything back on. Got these two, there's the other one, tightened up. So our intake, and these have a dual intake hose on there. That's back in. Again, there's one clamp there, one there, and those slide into place. There's that one and the one in the back that I showed you right there. Those slide into place. Battery is tightened down, so that ain't moving anywhere. Negative is over there. That one's really tight too. For some reason, they made this so tight right here, but this kind of your brake fluid here, reservoir, seems like it's in the way. Anyway, you'll have to kind of move that up a little bit so that it clears. I have no idea why they made it so tight like that, but that should be good. These are trash, and that's about it. Catch can is still doing good over there. It's empty right now. I emptied it probably a week ago, and I've just been kind of keeping everything in this spray cap right here. You can see how much junk has come out of there. Just holding on to it, just trying to see how long it takes to actually fill this thing up. But it's probably been you know, 4,000 or 5,000 miles since we've installed that catch can, oil catch can, and it's been doing its job. So haven't had any issues with it like filling up to capacity. I let it go for probably 4 or 5 months, 3 or 4 months maybe, and emptied it, and it was about halfway. So anyway, everything in here. Don't forget your sensor. Make sure I didn't leave any screws or anything over here. No, we're good. Go ahead and close that now and give it a start. Alright, lights all came on, so that's a good sign. And when I start her up, I'm just going to let it kind of run for a little bit. There's probably, you know, things that need to reset when you disconnect the battery. Alright. Turn the radio off. Turn the light off here.